Please hold while I confirm your passcode. Thank you. Your passcode is confirmed. When you hear the tone, you will be the third person to join the meeting.
I don't see a system check. Try the system check at the top of the screen.
Hi there. Is anybody there? You got two. We're one that's three.
You say she's typing a question. Go ahead and hit star 96.
All guests have been muted.
Okay, so let me log in over there. I'll say, I'll type in, say something, and then you could, like, introduce yourself, and then if I hear from you, then I'll do that.
Can you open your Good morning, everyone. This is Julie with DHI. Can you hear me? Oh, that's right. Can you type in your little chat window if you can hear us? Terrific. We're just getting everything ready. We'll be with you in just a second. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Julie Walter with Dorn Hardware Institute. It looks like we've got quite a few people on the call already. So I thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon and learn a little bit more about eShow and the channel exchange. I'll talk a couple seconds and hopefully a few more people will join us. The reason that we got together today is obviously to explain the eShow system. And as hopefully everybody has been seeing in all of our communications, we are very, very excited about the channel exchange program this year. And we do actually read all the surveys that you sent us at the end of the show, and from everything from the surveys and just talking to people, this seemed like a great way to get some more appointments for all of our exhibitors and to do it in maybe a little bit more methodical and thought-out way. So we have Mike Horton here today with us from eShow. He is very, very well-versed in the system, and he's going to walk us through what it will look like from the attendee side as well as what it will look like from your side. So the idea of the eShow program here is to be able to facilitate all of your appointments. This system allows the exhibitors to find you and make appointments with you. And I don't want to step on his toes too much, but there's a couple different ways. They can search for your company in the system, and they can also search by matches. And once we open this up to our attendees at the end of the month, we wanted to give you a couple weeks to get comfortable with it. Once we open it up to our attendees, what they will do is they'll go in and they'll create a profile for themselves. In addition to their in addition to their personal information, their name, their company name, at the bottom of that, they'll have an area where they can select what they're interested in, what types of products and equipment they're interested in, and then they'll be able to use that to find you. So the idea for Channel Exchange, as you all know, is to make appointments ahead of time. We have calendars for every exhibitor, and right now, every exhibitor is live and participating. If for any reason you decide that you would not like to participate in eShow, if you'll send a note to me or Alex or someone here at DHI, we're happy to turn that off for you. In the meantime, we've got everybody set up with 15-minute increments for the length of the show. So you can go in and block out anything that you don't want to see. The appointments can take place in hotel suites, and I know a lot of you have already reserved those suites to do that. The MGM has some gorgeous suites, so we're happy for that this year. In addition to that, anything that's happening during the show hours, we'd request that you have your meetings in your booth or in the networking lounges or the other networking areas on the DHI show floor. I think at this point I'm going to turn it over to Mike Horton. If there's questions that you have, you can use your chat box to ask us questions, and we'll be checking that periodically. In addition, you can always call myself or Alex or anybody in member services here at DHI, and we'll be happy to help you along the way. Obviously, this is a first for all of us, so we're kind of learning it together, so I appreciate your participation today and this year as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Mike Horton.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Mike Horton from eShow. What I'm going to do is, as Julia said, is just kind of walk you through the process. Because you can't respond to me by voice, what we'll do is at the end of each process, we'll open it up for Q&A. I'll go ahead and open up the chat line, and then we can go from there. So save your questions for the end of each section. What we're doing today is the expansion of the eShow products is where we really see better opportunities for the attendee and the exhibitor to better schedule themselves at an event, not only with educational sessions, but also meeting directly with the exhibitors. With everybody on their smartphones today and the mobile apps and everything, all of this material can be moved over to that, so they have that pretty much that one-touch, information about everything that they need as far as their schedule and the event. The other thing that this is going to give you, the exhibitor, the opportunity of is your pre-show marketing. This gives you better opportunities to get in front of your attendees even prior to them coming to the event. So we're going to show you a couple of features. The very first one that we're looking at here today is that this is the attendee part of it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to show a little bit about what the attendee is going to be able to do about doing matches with you, the exhibitors, and requesting appointments. When we get to the second part of it, we're going to show the reverse networking where the exhibitor has the opportunity to search the attendee database and request appointments with them. Each attendee will have their own login and password that will be provided to them from the eShow system. So everything will be password protected, and they'll be able to go in and actually log in for all of the information. What we're doing now is just going through and it's logging into the system. Okay. Now, this is actually what the attendee will see, and we're going to actually go through and move through a couple of the things here. The first one is just basically the view, matches, contact info, and schedule, and I'm going to highlight each one of those as we go through, but it's also going to provide individual schedule, matches, and those type of things. So what we have today is really the system gives them the opportunity to match by exhibitor, by attendee, and session, and that all comes in their personal profile. Well, the way the attendee will create the profile is to go into their contact information. A lot of this information is already pre-populated to this from the registration form, but here's an example where it's got the basic information. They can include additional information. But in the networking profile and product categories, they have the opportunity to actually go ahead and select different levels as far as interest in your event. So these all have been predefined by DHI, and these are the exact same categories that the exhibitor has selected in their profiles. So that's basically how the system works as far as the searching is concerned. Once that's basically, they've got their profile in there and they begin the search, they will move over to the matching. And moving from there, give it a second here to load. Here now is the ability where what it's done is it's now searched everything that is in the database at this point in time by exhibitor, by attendee, and by sessions. We're going to go ahead and look at the exhibitors, and basically what's happening here is all of the exhibitors that have matched that attendee's profile or products or categories of interest have shown up. So here's a listing of a lot of the companies. Some of you may see your companies in there already. Again, these are just test records, so don't be surprised if you are in here. But we're going to use basically the mic demo today, and really by clicking on this, they're really going to be able to see the basic information about this exhibitor. It's going to be the company information, the company name, address. They can go ahead and email, or they also have the opportunity to add them to the planner. Down below here, it actually also gives the explanation of all of the categories that the exhibitor has selected in their profile that they provide. So the attendee is going to get a better preview of that exhibitor. And then also here, this is just a quick scroll over where it just gives a very quick feature of the products. So what the attendee is going to do at this point in time is they're going to add them as a like. This is an exhibitor that I like. So they're just basically going to go ahead and add this. Now what this has done is now this has added the exhibitor to the attendees like list. And then from there, we're actually going to go over and move them into the schedule end of it, and this is where the attendee is actually going to go ahead and request an appointment with that exhibitor. So here now is what we call the like list of all of the different companies and information, and what we'll do here is just the full listing of the companies. Now these are matches for the attendees, these are matches with educational sessions and exhibitors. And basically what we do is we find here is the company, which we call Mike Demo. From here, they're actually going to go ahead and click on this to go ahead and request an appointment. When they do open this up and click on this, the actual appointment schedule of that exhibitor comes up. So it's basically showing the exhibitor and the amount of time slots that they have open. So in this situation, we're going to be able to go ahead and select 8:45 as the time slot that we would like to meet with the exhibitor. Once they do that and then go ahead and submit, the exhibitor at that point in time has actually received an email from the system to say, dear exhibitor, you now have another attendee requesting an appointment. The exhibitor then can go into the Exhibitor Service Center, and we're going to show you that part in just a minute, and they're actually going to be able to go in and view the attendee requesting the appointment and actually approve or deny, and they can approve by comments. So the final thing that I want to show you before we open up the first series of questions Q&A is basically what the attendee will see the exhibitor will see. Now this, as I said, the exhibitor will get an email. This is basically the information that the exhibitor will get. It's going to show the information, the request, all of the things that have come through as far as that's concerned, and then it'll be just a very quick click in, and that's going to bring them to the login into the Exhibitor Service Center. So by showing that, what I'd like to do now is just kind of go ahead and open this up to any questions about the attendee to exhibitor networking. If we go ahead and type in your questions, we'll go ahead. We're monitoring them now. We'll get those answered, and then we're going to move on to the next level. So anybody has questions so far, please feel free to type in your questions.
Great. Looks like everybody knows what's going on, so I think Mike's going to move over to your side of things on the exhibitor side.
Okay, let me go over and size this. Sorry about this. I'll hit there and just come down to the log out. By the way, the other thing I forgot to mention is, and this will be on the attendee and the exhibitor side, is at any point in time they will be able to print an itinerary or also download that schedule to Outlook. Out and here. There. And let's go in. Now what we're doing is we're going to go into the Exhibitor Service Center. Now this is where the exhibitors, when you log in or move in, this is the first screen that you're going to see. Again, it's going to be asking for an email and a password. These are all going to be pre-assigned to you from the eShow system. And and again, this is all password protected, so all of the material that you view in here is password protected. No other exhibitor will have the opportunity to get in and view this. Okay? The first thing that we're going to look at here is basically we're going to get into the networking appointments. This is where you're going to be going when the attendee requests an appointment. Okay? So what is really going to happen is the appointment request has come in, and as we're looking through here, they're actually going to be able to see, first off, their schedule, but also the requests that are in there right now. So what's happening is that these requests have come in. They're actually, in the case that you will be seeing the appointment, and you'll be able to click on that. It's going to show the appointment request that they're having, and then from there you will be able to accept or deny the appointment. What will happen is once that's done, your calendar will then automatically be completed to have them scheduled at that point in time in there. And the second item will be the attendee will also get an email saying, thank you very much, your appointment request has been accepted. After that, our system still does a semi-blind communication between the attendee and the exhibitor where basically they can email back and forth through the eShow system, but it is still hiding the attendee's email information. But at any point in time, the attendee may share their email and contact information directly with the exhibitor, and then additional communications can be done outside of the system. The other thing I wanted to show you here is at the bottom, which is basically the exhibitor schedule. If you have, prior to the scheduling opening up, if you have specific areas that you want to save for specific attendees, or basically there's time frames that you just do not want to accept appointments, all you need to do is go through and block them out, as I'm doing here. Okay? Once that happens, this automatically updates your schedule. So back when we looked at the beginning where we were able to, the attendee was able to go in and look at your appointment schedule and actually select one, basically any of the ones that you had blacked out or blocked out, the attendee would not be able to make an appointment at that point in time. Okay, so that is basically where the second part, which we were talking about, which is the attendee to exhibitor networking and how the exhibitor has the opportunity to manage the attendee requesting an appointment. We're going to go to one other area, but I do want to go ahead and let's open this back up for a quick Q&A to see if anybody has any questions so far on this.
You don't see any questions, though. It sounds like hopefully everybody is still understanding everything. I just wanted to point out a couple of things that I've been learning along the way. As Mike pointed out on the calendar, when you look at your calendar, you'll see that we do have every day blocked into 15-minute increments. We do not have any built-in any breaks for you. So if you want to go in and block anything out, as Mike was saying, if you want to block out anything, for instance, something's too early in the morning for you, you're not arriving until 3 o'clock on Wednesday or on Tuesday, so you want to block everything prior to that out. That's where you would go and manage your calendar and use that little box to block out those. The other item I wanted to point out, if you notice when he was looking at the calendar, there are 3 time slots. There are 3 appointment slots for each 15-minute time slot. We understand that several of you bring multiple booth personnel to the show, and you might want to be able to accept more than one appointment at a time slot. This is something that we can update for you. Unfortunately, it's not anything you can update yourself, so if you'll let myself or someone in member services know, they have instructions on how to change that. If you would rather have 1 appointment per time slot or 15 appointments per time slot, just let us know, and we're happy to make those updates for you. But I would recommend going in and getting comfortable with the system and adjusting your calendar early on, so by the time that we do open this up to attendees, your calendar is what you want it to look like. The other point that I wanted to make is that if you prefer not to participate in this at all and you don't want people to be able to find you or make appointments, again, let us know, and there's a section where we can actually turn off your company in the system. So if someone's doing a search on hinges or bolts and you didn't want to be in there, just let us know. It looks like we've got a couple questions that did pop up. We'll address those now.
Okay. You will only be notified, I guess the first question to answer, you will only be notified if the attendee actually requests the appointment for you. The second question, does it block out the time until such time as the appointment is approved? No, it will not block out that appointment until after that information is taken care of and you've actually approved the appointment. Schedule for our actual schedule. Yeah, this is just basically what Julie was just talking about here, as far as that you can tailor or create your own schedule for that, so you can block out times, exact times where you do not want to accept any appointments. The 3 appointment slots, this is, as Julie just mentioned, is where that if you do have a large staff on site, you can actually take 3 individual appointments within that time frame.
One thing that I just wanted to kind of add to that is that if you want to keep all of your 3 time slots, but you've got 1 person in 1 time slot, so at 8:15 someone's made 1 appointment with you, you don't want to accept any more appointments at 8:15 or whatever that time slot was, then you could just click your button that says block. So you've already accepted the appointment at the time slot. You've got 1 appointment in that time slot, but now you can block it so your other 2 appointments are no longer visible if you didn't want to make the blanket change across all of your calendar.
The next one is, right now as far as the eShow system, it is set in 15-minute increments as far as the appointment schedules, but if you do want to make them into 30-minute, basically what you would do is that next 15-minute schedule, you just block that out. So that way you do then have the opportunity for those appointments in that time slot to be 30-minute versus 15. You do also have, I'm sorry, okay, I'm not quite sure of the question here. We have notified, looking at how do you set up the email address.
The email addresses that we're using are the exhibitor key contacts. Following this webinar, probably tomorrow, we'll be sending an email out to all of the exhibitors where we will be providing you with your company's login information, which is basically your email address, as well as the pre-assigned password. So you'll be getting that here shortly, as well as some more instructions on this. We'll take some of this, type it up, and send that out to you. So you'll have that. The other thing that I wanted to mention was location. As I said, we'd love for you to be able to use the MGM suite. So that's something that there is no field for that when people are making appointments with you and you're responding to them. So I would just be sure that while you're communicating, you are kind of telling them specifically where your meeting will take place. One additional comment on that piece is that we've tried very hard with the MGM to pre-assign suites. We've explained the situation, what we're doing, and unfortunately they're unwilling to pre-assign. They've told us they've just had too many instances where somebody was pre-assigned a suite, the previous guest didn't check out on time, and now they're moving things around. So they're doing it in an effort to not make any confusion, and you're having to tell people. So what I would recommend you do now is kind of give yourself a reminder. So if you're checking in on Monday night, that maybe it's Monday night or Tuesday morning, you plan on emailing the people that you have appointments with to say, you know, we're so glad that you got an appointment with us. We're looking forward to seeing you. We're here at the MGM. Please, you know, meet me in my suite, whatever the suite number is at whatever the time is. So just kind of remind yourself now upon check-in when your room is assigned that you'll have that to share with your appointments.
Okay. A couple other questions here. Can we change the appointment time? Yes, you can. You are able to adjust the schedules within your system, so if you do want to change, something comes up and you need to change it, as long as you're working with the attendee so their schedule can be updated too, you do have that opportunity. As far as identifying or letting the attendee know that you have a longer period of time with them, a longer meeting schedule, you can actually communicate that directly with the attendee. Once you start communication within the eShow system, you have that opportunity to do that. So you can even communicate in the point of saying, you know, would you like a 15 or a 30-minute appointment, those type of things. So you do have that flexibility. And as I say, in communication, you can communicate with the attendee through our system. How do we, let's see, how do we change the email address? Okay. Basically, what you do is actually just call show management as far as that's concerned. Within the eShow data, all of that data has been pre-populated, so just Julie and her team will be able to make any type of changes as far as that's concerned. Here with us. I believe that's all the questions I think we're caught up with so far. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to the final end of this, and this is basically going with the exhibitor to attendee networking part, and this is where you will actually have the opportunity to request appointments with attendees. Now, what we're looking at, I'll go ahead and close that down. Just hold on one second. Bring that back up. Okay. The second thing, we're still logged into the Exhibitor Service Center, and now we're going to go to the Exhibitor Networking Center. Now, this is basically, it's a reverse of sort of what you saw with the attendee side, where basically the first bit of information here is the contact information. Now, this is stuff that is, a lot of this has been provided to us by DHI when we created your information, but you can always go in and update this. So if it is not, if you have additional categories that you want to have included in here, you can go ahead and update that profile as far as your system is or your actual contacts are concerned. The next area that we will go to is in the matching. Now, once you basically have provided all of that, your search criteria, what is happening now is the system is now providing you a list of, excuse me, let me get down and find where I'm at here. This is basically just showing exhibitors at this point in time, but what we're going to do is click on attendees, and now what it's doing is it's going to bring up all of the attendees that have matched your search criteria. So all of the attendees, when they created their profile in the system, and then you requested this as a match, here is all the information again. Now, if you remember before, we have the live link to the attendee information or file, again showing the basic information, those type of things. Again, told you that you do have the opportunity to communicate via email through our system. With that, so this is just showing the basic information as far as that attendee is concerned. As we scroll over, basically here, it's showing that this attendee is basically interested in bowls. Again, it could be multiple, if there was multiple selections in the attendee profile, that information would show up. So the final thing is to say this is an attendee that we like, and we would like to move on with them, so we're going to go ahead and add them to our like list. From there, we're just going to go over and create the schedule. We're going to click on the schedule. And then at this point in time, here is our like list. We've already got information scheduled out, but we are, again, and all I'm going to do is go ahead and click on this right here. And then I'm going to ask that this an appointment with this attendee from the 9 a.m. slot. And then all I'm going to do is click on Request an Appointment. What's happening at this point in time is the attendee has now received an email notification that an exhibitor has requested an appointment. This is an example of that notification. This is an old copy that we cut, so it doesn't show the true stuff here, but this is what an attendee would see. Exhibitors requested information. Again, log in here, or click here for the login, the password. They're going to go in and they're actually going to go ahead and view what exhibitor has requested an appointment with them. From there, they're going to be able to accept or deny the appointment, or also communicate back with you as far as the exhibitor is concerned. So that is what we call the reverse marketing end of the product, where you are able to search by attendee. What I want to do is go ahead and open this up again and answer the additional questions here. Go ahead.
If I can jump in real quickly. I don't know if you can see it. For some reason, I can't see Mike's mouse if he's moving around. If you'll scroll down, Mike, just a little bit.
Sorry, sure.
On the schedule, where it has the person who he wants to have an appointment with, you'll see right next to the right of their name, underneath appointment, there's a little calendar with a question mark. That's what Mike was clicking on in order to accept an appointment or to create the appointment with that person. So if you couldn't see that like I couldn't, that's what needs to happen there. And then, Mike, if you'll click on that button again. Once he selects a time, if you scroll down towards the bottom of this screen, there's actually a note section down here where you can make a little, I think.
Go on, let me get, sorry. My mouse ran out of space there. Okay.
So here's where you can put a note to the person saying, we're excited to see you at the show. You know, we'd love it if you'd have an appointment with us at this time. If this time isn't appropriate or it doesn't fit with your schedule, please suggest a better time for us. But this way, when you're communicating back and forth when they log into the networking system, they won't see this in the initial email that Mike had just shown you. They won't see your note, but once they log into the system to see who the exhibitor was requesting an appointment, this is where they'll see a little note that you can leave them, so you can kind of have a little bit further dialogue with them. I'll take the first question that I see under Mike's screen here in terms of the pre-registration list. We don't have that available yet. We didn't do an early bird cutoff this year. What we did instead was an advanced pricing. So the advanced pricing date is September the 17th, and typically it takes us a couple days to clean up everything, and then we'll be able to share that with you so you can start marketing. If I can do a plug for another vendor while Mike's in the room, we are using exhibitor invites again this year, and hopefully you've gotten some information from them at this point. This is a great system where anyone who is in your system already, you can send out 3 emails to them, and you can do it at your desk today. It takes about maybe 15 or 20 minutes to populate that. You can schedule those to go out at 3 dates in the future. So if you want to do something before, next month, I would suggest using that program and just kind of getting out to all the people that you know.
Okay. Just a couple other items also to point out in the Exhibitor Service Center is you do have some additional items that you can do here. The order of the lead retrieval units can be done through here. All of your documents can be also uploaded in here. So there will be some other information for you as far as that's concerned. That is pretty much my presentation as far as the system is concerned. I know we've gone over a lot, and I'm sure after we're done you'll have several questions. Julie will be available for you to call in and ask, and then I will also be assisting her that if there's anything that she can't answer direct, she can forward them to me, and then I will make sure we get you the correct answers.
We do have member services listening in on the call. We've also sat with them in advance of the webinar to kind of get them up to speed too. So if you dial into the main number at DHI, the 222-2010 number, I know Kara's listening in today, and she'd be happy to help you. Additionally, we are very hopeful that we are archiving this and it's recording fine for us today. We'd like to put this on the Exhibitor Information tab of the Connections website, so you'll be able to go back to this later. In addition to sending you out your eShow password and login information, we have already typed up some information on how to manage your calendar with some screenshots. We'll be sending that out, and then we'll further put some more information in there regarding some of the things that Mike has gone over today. To answer Cindy's question about the email system, it's called Exhibitor Invite, and if you want to just shoot me a quick email, I'll respond to you with all that information there. It's a completely free program to the exhibitors. It's just a great way to get your word out. You can send an unlimited number. You can send 3 emails to an unlimited number of recipients for that. So we hope that you've gotten some great information out of this. For me, it just took me a long time to kind of play around to get myself comfortable with this. So I'd recommend you kind of do the same, to go in and play with it, adjust your calendar now. Again, feel free to email me. Alex D'Imperio in the events department is very up to speed on this, as well as member services. So if you want to email any of us, if you'd like to change the number of allotments you have in any given time slot, please let us know. It is a blanket thing, so if we reduce it from 3 to 2 or 3 to 1, that affects all of your time slots. Additionally, for any reason you don't want to participate, just let us know that too, and we'll take care of that for you. So, as always, we're here to answer any questions if we can, but I really very much appreciate your time today. We were planning on opening this at the end of the month. We just wanted to give the exhibitors a little bit of time to get comfortable with this, and then at that point we'll start sending a big blast out to all of our attendees, giving them some information on their side, how they can go in, get their profile created, get their password. So hopefully right after Labor Day we should have two-way communication on this great program. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and ask them now or shoot me an email later on. But again, I really appreciate your time. I know this is in the middle of many people's lunch hours, so let us know, and we'll see you, gosh, in 2 short months. So thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.